It's easy to say I'm a chiropractor. It's easy to say I'm an attorney. For many people who lack the kind of background that I have in this industry, the years of success and the years of seeing others succeed, it can be sometimes a little bit more difficult to say, I'm involved in direct selling, I'm involved in network marketing. This product idea is so compelling that I have seen it in multiple instances now in this short period of time. I have seen in multiple instances the power of the message itself trumping the concerns that are quite frequently a part and parcel of this direct selling industry. What that means, if you boil it down, what does that mean? It means that more people with a broader variety of background experiences and personality types will be able to get the key in the lock of the compensation plan. So I love that. The product idea provokes conversation. The CBD story is so compelling it trumps typical direct selling concerns. Next, having been around this industry for a long period of time, and I see Kimberly saying that we're breaking up a little bit. Is that true for others, or is that issue on Kimberly's side, or is that issue on my side? Just so I know, we should have a really good internet connection here. I'm going to wait and get a couple of answers for this. It's fine. Okay, Kimberly, I think the issues are on your side. Pretty good. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to turn off the video. That uses less bandwidth. So I'm going to turn off the video. In so doing, that will perhaps make it work a little bit easier on your side. Then, as I reflect upon my experience in the industry, when a new company or a seasoned company becomes a very, very important company in this industry, it has most frequently been because there's an impassioned and articulate, qualified product developer and spokesperson. When that is in place, when that person of such power and magnetism, magnitude, when a person who has credibility is respected in his or her field, when that person is delivering the message for members, then members don't need to walk across the line and start making health claims and health statements and so on. When there is a person so powerful, so articulate, and so very, very good at what he or she does, that becomes the body, the face of the product itself, then that broadens the opportunity, the scope of the opportunity in an incredible way. And we'll talk about that a little bit more in a couple of moments. In fact, I'll do it right now. His name is Stuart TITUS, and many of you on this session have had interaction with Stuart and I. There are several of you who have been on this set on three-way phone calls with Stuart TITUS and I over the course of the last few days. I see my friend Kay Taylor that's here, and today Stuart TITUS spoke with her and with a cousin who has a child who so desperately needs CBD. I think probably as many as half of you on this session right now have probably had interaction with Stuart TITUS, having been involved for only a very short period of time. And so here we have one of the world's leading authorities, one of the world's leading experts on CBD, on cannabidiol, who has taken a personal interest in the successful development of Kannaway and in causing this message to proliferate, the CBD message to proliferate through this method of distribution. I don't believe that there's anything I can say to properly describe the importance of that. It takes somebody really remarkable for me to add them to the mix. I have had Stuart on the telephone time after time after time with high quality prospects, and the reason that I've done this is because I know that Stuart provides an imprimatur. Stuart provides proof and evidence of validity to things that otherwise I could not do it. And I reflect back, when I think about what makes Kannaway so special, I reflect back to an earlier time in my career when we had a product message that would resonate with healthcare professionals. And here I want to stress to all of you that I am not a healthcare professional. I don't have that background, but I remember there was a time in my career when we had a product message and a product developer, designer, a product spokesperson that granted an ease of access to our business for people in the healthcare arena. And when we're selling the type of product that we're selling, when we have a proper seating, a significant mix of people in our distributor network who have medical background, whether that be medical doctor or chiropractor or physiotherapist or nurse, when it be a person who has some medical background, then that tends to grow the belief and the conviction, the certainty of everyone else who walks into the room. And I remember just yesterday I was speaking with Dr. TITUS and a physician who had just barely joined our business, and it spun my head back to so many years ago when we had a large group of healthcare providers who joined a company because the product idea resonated with them. It was an easy bridge between being a healthcare provider and representing and talking about a product like this. Their very inclusion in the business added legitimacy to everyone else. We wound up in that experience growing a business with as many as 50% of the participants having a medical or quasi-medical background. Now here in these early days of my involvement with Kannaway, we're having the exact same experience, and that gives me great confidence, a great reason to believe that this is in fact very special. This is really special. This is not just sort of special. This is really special. And then what else makes Kannaway so special? It's management that understands brand advocate or distributor mentality. It would seem that that would be true in all legitimate direct selling companies. I assure you that it simply is not. And here I can speak with complete confidence. My son Blake is the CEO of Kannaway. And for those who are just looking at our business, you say, well, of course you think he's great because he's your son. Well, he is great, and he is my son, but that's not why he's great in this capacity. Blake is an attorney, and prior to being involved with Kannaway, he grew up with me, and so he saw, lived, and observed the business from the distributor standpoint, which is quite different than a typical management standpoint. Blake was then in the legal department of a very large direct selling company. He then opened the European and the Middle East market for a large direct selling company, lived in Israel for a season, lived in Portugal for a season, and then became the chief operating officer of another significant publicly traded direct selling company. The combination of his experiences growing up with me, building businesses with me, he and I together built an organization doing in excess of $50 million in annual sales in a relatively short period of time. Blake understands the business of direct selling, not just from the management side, but he understands it from the distributor side. And when you have management that understands brand advocate or distributor mentality, that creates a far, far, far more stable platform for the development of a business that can be special. And then compensation mechanism. If there is an area of my greatest expertise in the direct selling industry, that would be compensation mechanism. What a compensation plan must do is provoke the correct activity among the participants in the plan. What the compensation plan must do is fairly and adequately distribute income among those who are investing a little bit of time and those who are making this their life's work. What the plan must do is carefully navigate all the labyrinth of circumstances and situations so that a person who desperately needs to make $500 a month finds his or her solution in the compensation plan, but also where a person who wants to completely transition their primary source of income can find their solution in the compensation plan. And finally, for a person who's had great successes in life and can only participate if the upside is enormous, they must find it in the compensation plan. That's a nice discussion. It's not designed to be a compensation plan discussion. It is designed instead to be a general conversation about the various things that make Kannaway so special. And so in recap, what are they? They are a product idea that provokes conversation. That very fact opens the gates. It opens the gates so many people can successfully participate when the product idea provokes conversation. The CBD story is so very compelling that it trumps typical direct selling concerns. We have in Stuart Titus an impassioned, articulate, and qualified product developer and spokesperson who is so in love with what we do, who is so in love with what this company is and can be, that he is willing and does work tirelessly on our behalf. A willingness to have a phone conversation with you if that's what you need to satisfy yourself that what we're doing is good for other people. And my greatest belief is that when we each become completely satisfied that what we're doing is good for other people, that's encouraging, that empowers us and makes us able to do what we otherwise would not be able to do. We have a management group led by my own son that understands brand advocate mentality and a compensation mechanism that when you come to understand it, I think there's some reason to believe that you will think that there's more than one compensation plan component that was created specifically for you. Now, in this evening's session, what I thought would be really important would be to hear from a handful of people who have made recent decisions to join our business, and there are many others that we could have participate. Next week I will have others. I contemplated having 5 or 6 on this session, and for the sake of brevity, I opted to limit our participants in this particular session to 3, and I'm going to hope very much that in each case the audio component works. I'm going to ask first for Darren Darren Acey, who's been a friend of mine for many years, to describe to you what his experience has been. Before I click off my audio and ask Darren to pick it up, I will introduce Darren a little bit. Darren and I have been friends for many years, and I'll let Darren tell his story, but his father's been in the industry for a long time, and Darren has always had the vision of wanting to do something. But his career is one that is extraordinarily demanding on his time, And so when Darren and I spoke about this project, we talked about some of these things that I've described to you tonight. The fact that so powerful is the message that it opens doors, and that simple little touches, as we call them, simple little queries about one's knowledge or lack of knowledge on CBD would open the door to conversation, that we could engage in a process that would allow Darren to become financially successful in a very short period of time. And I, in fact, told Darren when he joined, and when he joined, he started with an executive pack, and I said, you know what, Darren, if we do this well, you can earn back what your executive pack costs in a couple of days. And he said, really? And I said, yeah, and that happened, and then so much more. So, Darren, I'm going to click off my audio and ask that you just pick it up and tell people quickly what your experience has been up until now, and the most important thing that you would have either a Kannaway member or a Kannaway observer, one who's trying to decide if they should join. What are the most important things that you would like them to know from your perspective? Darren?
Well, thank you, Randy. It's a privilege and an honor to be here with you this evening. You know, about 6 weeks ago, I received a text message from Randy, and it was very simple, just like he was talking about tonight. What do you know about CBDs and the corresponding health benefits? I had some experience or some knowledge of CBDs and sent him back an answer, and he says he's involved in a project. Would you like to hear more about it? We got on the phone. He explained to me what it was, and I instantly saw the vision of Kannaway. I'm currently a sales manager in the automobile industry. Typical work weeks, at least 70 hours a week, and we talked a lot about the time. But I was excited about this. I'd tried other businesses. Like he said, I've been around the industry my whole life. My father's been in the industry since the late 60s. And I could never seem to get the key in the lock and make it work to where there was some level of success for me and the people that I shared the business with. I did the exact same thing that Randy did with me. I started sending some text messages in a few spare minutes during the day, and it instantly invoked positive conversation. And in my first 3 weeks in Kannaway, I was able to earn more money than I have ever earned in network marketing. Last thing I want to share with you is the product. My father had some pretty bad back problems, had been on opiate pain pills for over a year. In fact, he'd have to take one in the morning and wait about 20 minutes before he could get out of bed. After his surgery, the pain didn't go away, and he was still having to take these opiate pain pills. As soon as I got my product, I sent some up to my father, and within a week, the pain subsided, and he is no longer on pain pills. I'm very excited to be part of Kannaway, and hope all of you see the vision that this company is and where it will be.
Darren, thank you so much. Now I'm going to turn my video back on here 1 minute. Folks, think about that for a second. What Darren just said was that he made more money in his first 3 weeks than he has ever made in a direct selling company. Darren is a high quality person. He has the basic persuasion skills that one would need to have to manage a big auto dealership. He has organization skills, and yet, using his words, he was unable to get the key in the lock. Suddenly, the key slipped relatively, I'm going to say easily, into the lock. What was the difference? The difference was the product message provoked conversation, and Darren did not have to chase. That's his very experience. That's what's going on. Now, the next thing that Darren stated, remember I said at the outset that CBD is such a powerful message. How powerful a message is it if his father, who used to take Vicodin before he could get out of bed and get started in the morning, if he no longer needs to? If we were to bring Stuart TITUS into the discussion right now and say, why, Stuart, could that happen? What he would explain is that our bodies actually have an endogenous cannabinoid system, and it's being starved because cannabis was wiped out. The hemp used to be in the food chain. It's not there anymore. And multiple generations of people have gone without this, and that our bodies actually have more CB1 and CB2 receptors than they have opiate receptors. And as a result of people consuming this product line, CBD-rich product line, there are multiple instances, not a singular unique one, where experiences just like Darren's father is having, can and will have. And when we separate now that personal product success and turn that into the business methodology, what does that mean? When a product provokes an emotional response, when that happens, then even a person who lacks persuasion abilities or who is not extroverted and is not likely to make outgoing phone calls or to talk spontaneously, when a product does something for ourselves or for people that we care about a lot, that we love, when that happens, that provokes conversation. The reason, so going back to my discussion earlier today, Don, I believe you're on the session when you said, why do I think this is so big? I think this is so big because the product provokes conversation. That conversation leads to people using it. When people use it, it provokes emotional response, and the wheel can turn so much more quickly than is available in just about any other place. And when we have Stuart TITUS providing the message, the validation, the scientific proofs behind it, then things can happen really, really quickly. And so now, I'd like next to hear from Cindy McCarran, and I will again let Cindy tell her story, but I will get in front of that a little bit and say that when I first spoke with Cindy, she was, to say the least, under significant pressure. She was feeling a significant amount of financial pressure. Now, does one eliminate financial pressure in a week or in 2 weeks or 3? No, and I believe Cindy's been involved with our business now for a week or 8 days total. But I'm going to click off, and I'm going to ask Cindy to just share with people what is your experience up until now? What have you experienced in Kannaway up until now? Whatever you would think you would find personally most important for a person to know who is in our business, trying to decide how aggressively he or she should participate, or if they're looking at our business, what would you have them know? Cindy?
I hope you can. Got the microphone turned on. I don't know if not. Yeah, this is Cindy McCarran. Hey, everybody. Home-based businesses in the past 10 years. I love the industry. As Randy said, I needed to make some money, and it wasn't happening with the last company that I was with. So my friend Claudia Simpson called me one day, and she said that Randy Schroeder wanted to talk to us both about something he was involved with, and he was very excited about it. So we were both looking. Claudia and I both had been looking for something else. We just weren't making the money that we needed to make. And we were looking for something that was unique, and we wanted it in the health and wellness, because that's what we're both very passionate about, helping people. Well, I knew Randy from being involved in the same companies, but never in the same team. So I really got to know him. I knew he was hugely successful, one of the top earners in this industry. I've heard him on stage many times, and I respect him so much. And so, yes, I wanted to hear what he had to say. And as Randy shared his information about the CBD oil and so many of the health benefits and this amazing compensation plan, I started getting really, really excited, like butterfly in my stomach excited. And it just sounded exactly what I was looking for. I watched every video that Randy sent, I read every article, and I was blown away by what I was reading. Claudia and I decided to enroll both of us, give it 200%, and I am so thankful that we did. Randy, I have to tell you, what stands out to me, the fact that I'm making money, and I made it day one out of after enrolling was you and your leadership, because you're making this so much easier for me. You are there every step of the way. You answer every one of my many questions every single day. You're my greatest cheerleader, and you just guide me all the way. And it's good training for me for learning things I never knew before. And it making it so simple. So I was showing a new distributor the other day the texts that I have from you back and forth, you and I both, and it just went on and on, and she couldn't believe that someone and your status in this industry was so helpful. So anyway, I am just really blown away by that. I enrolled just a few days ago, I guess 8 days ago, and it was that day that I truly felt like my life had changed. I was very down, and I was in a bad financial situation. After just enrolling a few people in 8 days, I'm making very, and I could not be happier. I still have a lot to learn. Doesn't faze me at all, because I've got Randy and Samantha Schroeder. They're right here for me anytime I need them. I've got my sponsor, Claudia. Everybody in our team has me and them. We all help each other. And I've just never seen anything like it. Now, as far as the products go, at first, to be honest, I was a little bit, even though I was all into it and excited, I was a little bit concerned about how some other people might, react. Well, I had that little tiny sliver of hesitation. After talking to the first 3 people, that was completely gone. I spoke to 3 people that I would consider to be the most critical of it, and they were very interested. They were very positive, very inquisitive, and I'm hearing things like, oh yeah, I've heard good things about that. So I've had a really good experience. And Randy, I have to tell you, I know I thank you many times every day, but I want you to know how grateful I am that you believed in me and helped give me this beautiful opportunity. I truly mean that from the bottom of my heart. And thank you. And if anybody's looking at this for the first time, if you are the least bit interested or excited about it, I encourage you to join this company, join Randy. He means what he is. He tells the truth. He's transparent, and he will help you. And if you can get in with one of the value packs, if you can get in with the most you can, get in just with whatever you can, and start talking to people and just putting them in your business, and you'll make money. And like I said, this is a wonderful opportunity.
Beautiful, Cindy. Thank you very much. And if you would click off your microphone now so we don't get background, that is fantastic. And you know what? Cindy's a little bit shy, and I want to be specific. And was in a trying financial situation, and I can tell you that in her first week she earned several times what it cost for her to get involved. I am involved in this business for the long haul. I'm here for the big success that takes years to create, but I know that those big successes, so frequently we hear people talking about the dream in direct selling. What we have to do before we can live the dream is we got to put the nightmare to bed. And I love the fact that we have people generating substantial incomes quickly. Next, we're going to hear from Claudia Simpson. And by the way, next week, we will hear from others who have likewise had remarkable experiences in a short period of time. Claudia Simpson and her husband Stan are people that I've known for some number of years. And I spoke with Claudia, and what I explained to her was that there was a possibility here because of the issues described. I said, Claudia, this is a chance to get your career back on track. This is a chance to really grow. This is a chance to cause people to trust, to believe, to have confidence, to have certainty, to have hope. And as Cindy described, I pledge to her, as I now pledge to each of you that I've not spoken with personally, I pledge to you to invest myself completely in the development of your business. Claudia has enrolled more people personally in this short period of time of her involvement than anyone else in the organization, and that is why I asked her to be on this session. I believe that Claudia has enrolled 10 or 11 people now, and this only in 1 week's time. So she didn't just embrace it when she studied carefully. She didn't act very quickly when we first talked until she acted. It took her a little time. But when she said yes, she didn't just say yes with her lips, she said yes with her actions. And we'll wait until the commission month ends, but it's already a certainty that in her first week she earned over $3,000, or in her first now 8 days. And we've got that. And by the way, I know that some of you are looking at this business or are in it with the idea of making thousands and tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands and millions and so on. But those successes are predicated upon having people join us and make immediate progress. And certainly Claudia is a great example of that. So Claudia, I'm going to turn it over to you and ask you to talk about what's most important to you. What would you have a new member learn? What would you have when looking at our business?
Okay, I'm hoping everybody can hear me okay. Thank you, Randy. I appreciate you inviting me on here tonight. Just as Randy said, I was a little slow getting on board, and I'll tell you why that is. It's been about 10 years ago exactly next month that we first started a home business or a network marketing opportunity, and my background was as a teacher, and so I was just used to going to work every day and trading my time for dollars. But when I saw this opportunity, I fell in love with the possibility of it. But I knew it was going to take hard work, and I did that. I mean, I've always been, able to work hard. I mean, I know that I've got to apply myself, and so that was, not a problem there. But it does take time to develop the skills, and so we were, as Cindy said, in a business where we weren't making money anymore, and there comes a time when you just have to cut bait. And so I was looking. I knew Randy from way back a long time ago. I knew that he was, I'll tell you what attracted me to Randy. And I knew he was top earner, but there's lots of top earners in the industry. What attracted me to Randy was two things. He's a fantastic teacher, and I knew that that's what I needed. I needed to learn skills. And I used to watch his webinars even when I wasn't in his team. I would sneak over to his Facebook page, and I would see when he posted something, I go, oh, he's got another one. So I would go watch those webinars, and I don't know if he ever knew that, but I was watching him from a distance. But the other thing about Randy is that I recognized his honesty and his integrity right away, and that was just very important to me. And so when looking, and when I realized that Randy was doing another business, I was very interested, and I just continued to, I guess I approached him on Facebook, but he was so patient with me, and he would just kind of drip on me and tell me a few things, and I would go look at it. And I was just very, very slow, because what I knew was this had to be right. I couldn't make a mistake. It had to be right. It had to be right for me. It had to be right for my team. It had to be the right company. It had to be the right leadership. And it had to be products that work and that will ship on time, and all those things that are so important. And so when I finally, decided to, pull the lever and jump in this, I knew it was important that I get all in. And so, and what I mean by that is I knew that I couldn't do it halfway. When I go talk to some of my leaders, and I'd say, well, what do you think about this? And what do you think about that? And one day, Randy said to me, he said, it's very difficult for a prospect to enroll a prospect. And that was just like, oh, wow, he's right. I need to get all in, and I knew that that would be what it would require. And so, and I also knew that I wanted to come into business with, as he teaches, the best, the most appropriate initial order for me. And I knew that for me, I wanted to immerse myself in all the products and experience everything, so I'd be able to talk about it. And so I came in with, with an executive pack, and I've never been sorry that I did that, because I am loving these products, absolutely loving these products. And I had some hip pain that, I'm not kidding you, it went away immediately. And then I had a little bit of lower back pain, and the same thing happens. And I'm not talking about waiting a week. So that was amazing to me. there's not any of these products that I've tried that I'm not just crazy about. And so we've got the right product, and you know, we've got the right company. I'm very excited about what we have, and I believe, like Cindy said, that, you know, having a great leader is so important, because, you know, if you come on to something like this and you've never done it before, you know, you've got some things to learn, and that's okay. You know, Randy often says, you know, the skill to do comes from doing, and that is absolutely the truth. And so you just engage in these things. You just jump in, get all in, and just jump in. But it's great to know that there's somebody to catch you if you fall, and that's sort of what I'm seeing here with Randy and Samantha. I also knew that it was important to, you know, plan your day. And so what I did right away was I had my general list in mind of people that I would go to first, and I just made sure that I'm doing the activities every day, you know, and that's just what you have to do. You have to jump in and you have to call people. And I also knew from Randy that it's a good idea to allow your tools to do the talking for you. So, because you when you first join a company, you don't know it. I still don't know. I mean, there's a lot of things I don't know. I'm still learning from Dr.STUART TITUS, and I love that I can just take my team and say, I don't know that, but guess what? He's got a call. Get on there and see what you can learn. And so that's just the best way for me, and that way I don't have to know everything. And I certainly don't know everything about the comp plan yet, but I'm still making money. So that is just so important that we don't get hung up in thinking, okay, I'll be ready to start this thing once I figure everything out. And that's not the best way to start doing this. And so, you know, we do have to spend some time learning our product and learning our back office and all those kinds of things, but don't let it hold you back from just getting started. Know which tools to use and take off with this. And another thing that I wanted to add to this in closing is that I have learned not to listen to the negative voices. And so usually what happens when people engage in something like this, you're always going to get those people that suddenly want to talk you out of it, or tell you it can't be done, or tell you you can't do it, or they want to just, you know, throw cold water in your face, so to speak, and on your dreams. And I've learned a long time ago that you don't let that happen, and you just continue every day doing the activities. After you've reached contacts, you keep that contact list growing every day and adding names to it. And some people will get in right now, some people will get in next week, and some people will get in later, and some may never get in. But, you know, the idea is just to continue with those activities. I'm having fun with this, and I've always said if it's not fun, why do it? I think that, you know, learning how to just kind of relax this. I get really uptight sometimes because I want to reach my goals. And, you know, and Randy will just tell me, you know, just take it easy, you know, ebb and flow. One day he said it's an ebb and flow, you know, and so it's great to have that kind of mentor coach that can be there to just kind of say, okay, this is going to happen. Just, you know, if you get 4 no's in a row, great. That means the next one has better odds of being a yes. And I love that. And so I just want to, again, thank, you know, Randy and Samantha both, because they've been amazing mentor leaders and great sponsors, and that's just so important. And I want to, like Cindy said, I want to be that same thing for other people, because that's what it's all about. So thank you, Randy, for letting me share.
Beautiful, Claudia. Thank you so very much. You guys have all been so kind to me. I appreciate that. You know, on this previous slide up here, in a conversation today, talking about what makes Kannaway so special, and in a conversation with a gentleman named Don, I talked about the fact that the water is safe. I talked about the fact management in direct selling companies understands the business from a brand ambassador, from a distributor standpoint. And I talked about the fact that my son Blake is the CEO of this company. Now, I did not know when I put this session together that Blake would be walking in the room, but he just did. And so since that's true, I'm going to pass this computer over to Blake. And Blake, we have here a group of people, a handful of whom have joined our business in the last few days, and a handful of whom we hope will join our business today. And so everybody here is my son Blake Schroeder. He's the CEO of Kannaway, and just tell folks what you'd like them to know, if they're either brand new or if they're looking at our business.
Awesome. Thanks, Randy. Well, today, everybody's a special day. I remember, gosh, it was in late March that I decided to move to San Diego and take over Kannaway, essentially. And it's been a lot of hard work since then, you know. So it's been April, May, June, July, and now August, and we're not yet till the end of the month. From April 1st, the amount of volume that we did, in March before I got here, until now, actually today it happened. We've doubled the volume, the monthly volume in Kannaway. So that's a proud day for me. You know, we had to get everything organized, and we had to get the message right, and we had to get the story out there, and we had to start doing some events. And we just had an amazing event in Phoenix last weekend, and we launched this brand new product here, Revive Pro X. That's an amazing product. You know, the first product of its kind where you can get cannabinoids every day in your diet, and it would pass all World Anti-Doping Association requirements. I mean, that's a big deal. Our messages to the world. We used to get cannabinoids in our diets just from plants used to be everywhere, and animals would eat them. We get them in our systems, and we don't anymore. And this is the perfect way to do it with the Revive Pro X. We're excited about that. So our next event, by the way, today's a special day because we doubled the business. I fully anticipate that we'll double it again here in the next 60 to 90 days. No question, we've got some great things going. Our next event is coming up in Denver, Colorado. It's going to be on October the 15th. I would encourage and invite everybody here on the call to get involved. Whether you come or whether you send a prospect, get involved and come to the meeting in Denver. You can find all the details on our website on Kannaway.com. Also, we just launched the website in Spanish. You know, what a great time. So if you've got some Latinos in your group, or if you know some Latinos, get them involved. You know, we have full customer support in Spanish, and we've now got our website in Spanish, and a lot more to come. So we'll be launching some new products in at least one new product when we get to Denver. And then, after that, we're planning for our Genesis event, the start, right, of Kannaway, the official start, which is going to be November the 11th here in San Diego. And all of you should be down here for that event. It's going to be incredible. Of course, we're going to have Stu. I heard somebody mention Stuart. He's just an awesome guy, and he's going to be there, of course. And we're going to launch the Canna Effect, and we're going to do all kinds of a lot of really, really fun things in San Diego on November the 11th. So anyways, I see a few of you on here that I know. Hi to Claudia and Stan if you're there. Hello. Good to see you guys again. I'm glad we're in business together. And everybody else, just grateful for a minute here to say hi, and hope everybody's great. And let's get this thing going, especially out in the Midwest. Big market in the Midwest, I know. So thanks, everybody, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, Blake. So one of the phrases that I used with the gentleman I spoke with earlier today was that the water is safe in Kannaway, and I want you all to know the water is safe in Kannaway. If you engage in this process and build a big business, the company will be here to support your efforts. I also want to comment a little bit on Cindy said some really nice things about me. I've been speaking with her prospects. The reason I've been speaking with Cindy's prospects is because she asked me to. If I've not been speaking with your prospects, it's because you haven't asked me to. Claudia said some really nice things. I've been talking to her prospects and helping her. The reason I've been talking with Claudia is because she asked me to. And I want each of you to know that I'm available to you, all of you. I want you to know that I want to talk to your prospect. I want to talk to you. I want to be in your home. Samantha and I are going to Utah in a couple of days to make a presentation in someone's home. And the reason it's that person's home instead of yours is because Angie asked us to. That's the truth. We're at a state of development in this business where and I want it to always be true. I want every member to always feel like everyone is important. But we're a state of development and evolvement in this company right now where literally and truly every new account, every new distributor, every new brand advocate, every person is really, really important. And really important to me personally. It is. I love everything that I'm seeing, feeling, and experiencing at Kannaway. There is one thing and one thing only missing, and that is enough leadership. The magnitude of our success will be dependent upon the quantity and quality of leadership structure that we create. And the extent that we do that together, incredible things can happen. So there are a variety of things, in my estimation, which make Kannaway so special. The next one I want to talk about quickly is the compensation mechanism. I'm not going to talk at all about the various components. What I will tell you is that like Stuart TITUS is an expert in CBD, I will self-proclaim myself an expert in direct selling compensation. And what this does is provoke correct behaviors. It fairly and adequately splits income up among people with big goals and little goals, with immediate need versus long-term need. There is a stability that I can look down the road as volume runs through this compensation plan, and I can tell you that there is stability built into it. We can build a business that takes on a degree of self-maintenance. Now, this is a business that we build. It is not an investment that we make. Our investment is our time. The odds are not that we will one day build a business that we walk away from and keep getting paid, but if we do it well and create the right leadership hierarchy, we can develop a business that over time, and let's call that over time 3 to 5 years or 5 to 7, not overnight, we can build a business that requires only passive management. And in a nutshell, what is Kannaway? It is an opportunity to represent the industry leader in the development and in the current delivery of CBD cannabidiol, and to be a part of that company's growth, development, and expansion in terms of distributor force domestically, one day internationally, in terms of product line extension and expansion as this message grows from a health standpoint, and also as it grows from other uses of hemp. I had the privilege of playing golf with Stuart Titus at Blake yesterday, and though sworn to secrecy, I have some insight into the products that are coming soon. And folks, you're just gonna be so happy. You're gonna be so very, very happy. You'll be happier if you have a group of distributors already in place when the next product is introduced, because logic tells me they will buy it. When they hear about it, they will buy it. And if you've already spun the web to some degree, then when they buy, that buy will flow up through your organization and you'll get paid. The compensation plan is, to me, a thing of beauty, and it is a correction of some of the errors that have made in direct selling compensation plan methodologies over the course of the past few years. In quick conclusion, because I know we've now been together for 48 minutes. That's about as long as I would ever try to hold someone together in this kind of a session. I want you all to know and understand that Kannaway is a family-oriented business. This is about building a business that we do together. I don't know if Samantha's in the room right now. Samantha and I build this together. This is our business. It's something we do together. I was gratified today when Cloudy and others said Randy and Samantha. Samantha's as engaged in this as I am. She's engaged doing things that she can do better than I do. We do it together. I encourage you to do it together to the degree that it's possible with your husband, your wife, your boyfriend, your girlfriend. It's a sustainable company. The world will never run out of hemp because it grows so quickly. It's sustainable. It's driven by science, and that, of course, being led by Dr.STUART Titus. It's all natural and botanical. Earlier today, again, in this conversation with Don, he said, Randy, what makes it special? There is simply no question that it is special because we are first. So much of the direct selling industry is about repackaging, rebranding, relabeling an idea or a story that's been told so many times. That is simply not Kannaway. This is a company of firsts, the first to create a mainstream natural botanical CBD brand, the first to launch a respected cannabinoid supplement and pharmaceutical line, the first in the industry to develop strict quality standards with rigorous triple lab testing, the first direct sales company to offer hemp products, and the first company to use hemp to combat aging, skin problems, and low vitality. It's just real simple, folks. We can create the foundation on which others build in the future and be rewarded for that, or we can stand idly by and allow others to build the foundation. The creation of a large income stream is not the same as the creation of wealth. Knowing how to manage money, all these things, those are different. But the possibility that is here, that is real and that is tangible, to make substantial amounts of money in the near term, not just way down the road. It's real, it's tangible, and it's being experienced already by our members in these short days of our involvement. I could not be more happy. You'll hear Dr. Titus talk about the endogenous cannabinoid system. It's one of the body's main self-regulatory system. It's largest self-regulatory system. And since the Marijuana Tax Act, and just to be very clear, because some of you may have just be getting your first look at our business, we do not sell marijuana. In the cannabis family tree, there is on one branch marijuana, which is THC. It is psychoactive. We are on the other branch. It is CBD. It is non-psychoactive cannabinoids that are essential to our body, and they have been starved since the Marijuana Tax Act, unfortunately, in 1937, did not just eradicate from legality the marijuana plant, but the hemp plant. Again, non-psychoactive. We don't sell drugs. This is about being well. It's not about getting high. The endogenous cannabinoid system, when it is properly fed, grants us the opportunity for homeostasis. What is homeostasis? It is about returning the body to a state of wellness. And that's why one person may get energy from the very same product that gives another an ability to calm down, because the product provokes homeostasis. That means general wellness. And is that not what we all want? Of course, sometimes people have desperate health conditions, and there are lots of stories and lots of evidences that this can be a way to resolve some of those problems under proper physician's care. The Kannaway product line is exceptional across the board. I was so happy to see our Defined Skincare line highlighted in Marie Claire magazine right now on the stands. It's really cool. It is really, really cool when the company that we represent in its infancy is already getting public press, public notification. This not paid advertising, but this editorial review and discussion of what we do that is so very special in every way. The Can Active Skincare line is about problem skin. Use it. Don't ever spend another dime on Proactive. If you know people who are, don't ever let them do it again. Can Active is better. And then, of course, the Revive line, which is, in my estimation, it's such an important product line. I've listened to Stuart TITUS talk so many times now, and I've heard him say over and over and over again that we must be consuming 50 milligrams of CBD per day. And if we are consuming all of the Revive product line, we will be consuming 50 milligrams of CBD per day. And is it not true that what we want to do is retain health, vigor, vitality, energy? We want to preserve youth as long as we can, and we want to age gracefully. That really is what this is all about. Revive Pro X. This is a big deal, folks. This is a big deal. There are lots of people who, no matter how they may have wanted the product, could not use it because of any risk whatsoever of having a trace of THC show up in a drug screen. A police officer, for example, one working in the fire department, teachers. There's so many kinds of employment where that risk couldn't be taken, even though we sell products, once again, non-psychoactive, trace amounts of THC. Those very traces could eliminate consumption by some. And only 2 days ago, we introduced the only product on the market that has CBD minus THC, period. And by the way, to anticipate some of those questions, I played golf with Stuart yesterday, and a question was posed to him, well, how important is the THC in the overall health benefits, those trace amounts? And he said, well, it is true that THC is a psychoactive cannabinoid, and that it can be a trigger to some of the health benefits of CBD, and those trace amounts have some value. And he would say, well, tell me how much value? And he said, well, if we assume on a scale of 0 to 100 that the efficacy of our Revive Pro, for example, is 100, and it is, this is Stuart talking about me, if on a scale of 1 to 100, Revive Pro is on that scale 100, he said the Revive Pro X, with the complete total elimination of THC, would be 92 or 93. Still dramatically better than what one could accomplish any other way and totally eliminate those risks. And by the way, any of you who have not yet received it and tried it, buy it. Buy it. This is really, it's a very, very, very easy product to consume. If any of you here have not done so yet, please go to my website, randyschroeder.com/blog. There you will find an entire group of audio and video resources that have been created, more to come. I hear state with energy that I'm not a tool salesman. Anything that I ever create is available to you free. I build things to help you grow the business. I don't build things to sell them to you. And you know what? Our time is spent. So I'm going to end with these last two simple thoughts. First, I was speaking with a gentleman today who was asking me various products. He'd been through the back office and was looking at various products that he might include in his first order. Folks, let your first order be one of the value packs, whichever one is financially appropriate for you. We must build a business. If we want big success, we need to build a business that has a replicatable process. Let your first order be one of the 3 value packs, or the multiple value packs now, because we can choose between X and not X. But choose one of the value packs for your first order. Choose the largest value pack that is financially appropriate for you, and then add other items as is appropriate to meet your own unique need. And my final comment for you is that Samantha and I are so very, very grateful to have found our way to Kannaway. We are so very grateful to the company for making this opportunity available to all of us, and we are grateful to each of you individually. I want you to know that. I am grateful to you individually. for having made the decision to get involved in our business if you have. And if you have not, I am grateful to you individually for having made the choice to look, to consider, to contemplate. And I would like to reiterate what I said earlier. If I'm not talking to you and to your prospect, it is only because you haven't asked me to. And I am eager to do so. So, folks, if you're a Kannaway distributor, welcome and thank you. And I encourage you to join me in this idea. Product successes coupled with proof of income added to company operational efficiencies. These are the things that create business, dramatic business expansions in our company. I invite you to join me in this simple idea that the incomes that we receive as members on the 15th of September will be predicated upon the amount of business that we do by the end of August. These last 2 days are precious and they are critical. I encourage you to use them to the absolute fullness. Open the floodgates. Let people know who we are and what we have going on. The sooner they join us in the business, the sooner they can have the positive health experiences that encourage and empower. The sooner they join us in the business, the sooner they can make money. And I believe that if you know this, if you know really what this is, that it demands that we scream at the rooftops. So, blowing you a kiss. I'm telling you, you're great. God bless you all, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.